In a small Midwestern town in the USA, people believed they were safe from the dangers often heard about in larger cities. It was the kind of place where neighbors left their doors unlocked and everyone waved as they passed by. Yet, one place carried a darker reputation: the old farmhouse at the edge of the forest. For decades, locals whispered about strange occurrences there, from flickering lights in the windows to unexplained screams in the dead of night. Parents told their children to stay away, and most listened, but the mystery of the house was too powerful to be forgotten. One humid summer night, for teenagers, Jake, Emily, Ryan, and Sarah gathered under the streetlight, daring each other to finally uncover the truth. Restless and eager for adventure, they decided to enter the abandoned farmhouse. As they approached, the night grew unsettlingly quiet, the usual hum of crickets fading into silence. The house loomed in front of them, its broken windows like hollow eyes watching. Ryan, jittery but pretending to be brave, claimed he saw someone standing in the upstairs window. The others laughed, teasing him, but each felt the same uneasy tension settle deep in their bones. Inside, the air was thick with mildew, and every step across the warped floor groaned beneath their weight. Moonlight slipped through the cracks, illuminating layers of dust and cobwebs. They searched the rooms, giggling nervously, until Emily stumbled across a pile of crumpled papers. She picked one up and froze. It was a child's drawing. The paper was yellowed with age, yet the dark sketches showed faceless figures towering over a small stick child. At the bottom was a name and date, both belonging to a boy who had disappeared decades ago. Their uneasy curiosity led them deeper into the house until they discovered a heavy wooden door in the kitchen. Unlike the rest of the crumbling home, this door was locked with a new, shiny padlock. It stood out sharply, almost as if someone still wanted to keep the basement sealed. Ignoring the pit in his stomach, Jake pried the lock open with a metal bar. The door groaned as it opened, and a sharp coldness spilled out. Then, faint but unmistakable, they heard a child's laugh rise from the darkness below. Their hearts pounded, yet they stepped closer. The basement was worse than they imagined. Rows of dusty shelves held glass jars filled with strange, discolored shapes floating in murky liquid. Rusty tools lay scattered across the dirt floor, and broken toys lay abandoned, their cheerful colors faded. Sarah noticed deep scratch marks gouged into the cement walls, clawing upward as if someone had tried desperately to escape. In the far corner, they found a blood-stained mattress, the fabric stiff with age. Before they could speak, a bulb dangling overhead flickered and flared to life. Though none of them had touched the switch, fear held them frozen when a faint whisper drifted through the basement air. "Don't leave me here." It was so soft they weren't sure they heard it at first, but then it came again, more urgent. Ryan called out, demanding to know who was there, but only silence followed. Then came footsteps, slow and deliberate, echoing across the concrete floor behind them. They spun around. No one was there. When Emily turned toward the wall, her breath caught. Freshly carved into the concrete were the words, "You shouldn't have come." Panic surged through them, and they bolted up the stairs. But the house wasn't letting them go so easily. The front door slammed shut, rattling violently as they tried to open it. Windows shook, and the walls themselves seemed to hum with a low, angry sound. Emily fell, screaming that something was holding her ankles, though nothing was visible. Jake threw his shoulder against the door with all his strength until finally, it burst open. The four of them sprinted into the night, their screams mixing with the wind. None of them ever spoke about that night again, but the farmhouse left its mark. Ryan moved away within months, claiming he couldn't escape the voice that whispered to him in his sleep. Emily suffered from vivid nightmares, unable to rest in darkness. Sarah avoided the forest entirely, while Jake buried his fear beneath silence. Years later, when the farmhouse was torn down, workers uncovered shallow graves beneath the basement floor, children who had gone missing long ago. The townspeople still refused to discuss it, and some claim that if you stand on the ruins at night, you'll hear the whisper too.